When I was in school, I never read a book for fun. Something about that required reading really just made me not want to read. Now that I've been outside of college, I'm rekindling my love for reading. So, for my birthday video, this is going up on my birthday, let's go over a few books that have made a difference in my life once I read them. Atomic Habits by James Clear. For this book, I had listened to it in an audiobook on my morning commute, but I kind of wish I had the physical book so that I would have been able to take notes. It really focused on making small changes that will, of course, build up into larger changes. It introduced me to habit stacking, and it helped just changing your habits, seem a lot less daunting. It featured 4 aspects of a habit. Make it attractive, make it obvious, make it easy, and make it satisfying. I use this to help me learn through everyday life, to try new things, to create new habits, and I definitely recommend it if you want to do it too. The second book, The Highly Sensitive Person by Elaine Aron. In this book, I really felt seen. With all the descriptions of what a highly sensitive person is, I really could just be like, that is me. As a high achiever, with tendencies of empathy and over-arousal, this gives a lot of tools to help manage that. It really emphasizes the idea to just be yourself rather than focusing on your outputs or finding your worth in external factors. As high achievers, we often tend to overbook ourselves, that way we don't have to think about things, but you gotta make time to think. I know it's not pleasant, but we should do it. It's important that we accept ourselves for who we are, with our strengths and our weaknesses, all in one. We can't escape ourselves, so we gotta accept it. How to Break Up with Your Phone by Catherine Price. Surprisingly, this was a book that I had to read for school, but it was a good one, so I did read it again outside of school. It changed how I use my phone and the way I interact with social media. It brings out a lot of the factors that social media uses to get your attention, and then how to counteract those factors. If you want to see more of the manipulative aspects, in this card I should have a video that I made about how social media manipulates us to keep getting our attention and keep us using our phones. I no longer have any notifications on my social media apps. I have times that I check in, but I don't receive notifications for them. I also deleted some social media apps entirely, and ultimately, I feel a lot better for it. So I highly recommend doing that if you need the help using this book to help guide you through the process of purging the social media from your phone. Hooked by Nur Eval. I was actually kind of surprised I liked this one, especially because it was for reasons that it wasn't exactly written for. This book talks about how to create habit-forming products for consumers. So it's the idea of being a business person wanting to make habit-forming products. But I saw it from the perspective as a consumer and how these products form and manipulate us to be habit-forming. Nur Eval also has another book where he goes into being focused rather than the actual hooked model. I definitely recommend that. I am currently reading that book as well, but I'm just going into Hooked, which I've already finished. I think a lot of people could benefit from learning more about the research behind why people do things and our consumer behavior, or just human behavior in general. It definitely explains a lot when it comes to supporting creators and supporting artists, which is why I definitely feel like you should dive into it. The idea in Hooked brings into the idea of a trigger, which then causes an action, which then has a variable reward, which hopefully leads to an investment. Of course, the focus is that this cycle is seen in customers, but you can also see it in relationships, you can see it in exercise and health habits, you can see it in so much more than just consumer behavior. Because I feel like this book applies so much to other aspects of your life, I definitely recommend it as a good read. You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. This book has to be taken with a grain of salt, I will say that. But I definitely like that it encourages you to take the jump towards your dreams. It brings up a lot of ideas about manifestation and empowering yourself to go for the things you want and to do the things that you're afraid to do. It also encourages you to stop caring about what other people think and take risks. Stop being afraid that people will judge you because of you wanting to take this risk. It's ultimately your life, you're living it, so you should enjoy it. Now I say take this with a grain of salt because as a Black person, it doesn't bring in the marginalized perspective. So it doesn't necessarily touch on being disadvantaged because of being a Black person or because of being disabled or anything like that. But it still encourages you to face adversity and try to reach for your dreams anyway. I believe you can do anything you put your mind to, but if you're more privileged, it's a little easier than if you're not. If you like this video and are interested in learning more about some of the ideas in this video, check out this video about social media manipulation tactics where I go more in depth with that. If you feel like you have someone in your life that takes positivity too far, check out this video where I talk about toxic positivity. Thanks for watching, and remember, the only way out is through.